just see over on this line over here?
Okay, so a couple of us are down at 12th Street, just keeping an eye on things. Everything's very calm. The street was not crowded. And the police, for reasons that made no sense, started advancing from 12th Street up the block, clearing people out of the way. And a couple of the other observers and I said, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Why are you trying to do that? You're just going to crowd people up and possibly create an incident. Well, of course, they didn't listen to us. And the next thing you know, the police are in contact with half a dozen people. Two or three people got knocked to the ground. One guy got his hair pulled half off out of his head and is arrested by the police, and two others are knocked down. And the police are using their clubs in a very aggressive way. And finally, we yelled long enough, and they stopped. But it was a completely unnecessary and provocative action by the police.
Did you see which officers were involved?
Well, the officer in charge is a Lieutenant F. Hamilton, and two of the officers who were most aggressive at the front of the line with their clubs were B. Matthews and N. Miller. So we got their names.
I see.
And we'll be making complaints.
And what did you tell the lieutenant over here?
But I wanted to talk to the incident commander of this entire operation and tell him how stupid they're behaving and why they should just back off and go away.
Is there any kind of legal action that you think the two or three people who got beat up just now, is there any kind of legal action that they can take?
Sure. They could file complaints against the cops, and they can file lawsuits under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 for deprivation of their rights to free speech and due process by police violence.
Sure. And just as a broad question, what's the National Lawyers Guild here for today?
Well, the National Lawyers Guild, as you probably know, is a progressive organization made up of lawyers, law students, and legal workers throughout the United States. And we are obviously in support of Justice for Oscar Grant, and we're here to help out in terms of making sure that people have legal support for their demonstration.
Is a conviction of involuntary manslaughter justice for Oscar Grant?
I don't believe so myself. I mean, it's a hard question because the evidence was so confusing and conflicting. From my perspective, the facts were there to justify a murder to conviction. The jury saw otherwise. Now it's going to be up to the judge, and I think that's where the real issue of justice will, if you can call it that, right? Oscar Grant is dead. Nothing's going to bring him back. But in terms of an appropriate jail sentence, this judge will have the authority to sentence Mehserle to up to 14 years, and if he sentences him for that much or close to it, at least it will be an indication that the system takes the killing seriously and that officers will be given a strong warning not to use excessive force.
What's the minimum penalty? I heard in special circumstances he could get probation.
He could get probation. Right.